Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read you a CNN article in less than a minute, but before that, I want to just explain, and I'll put the links below. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Business Roundtable, composed of CEOs of the largest companies in the country, and the National Association of Manufacturers have all spoken out against the infrastructure bill's tax hike, corporate tax hike. What do you think is going to happen when corporations pay higher taxes? They'll either lay off employees or find ways to just simply mitigate the increase in taxes by raising the prices of goods. So they will pass on the tax increase to consumers. Democrats, especially Biden, they're completely clueless as to how to grow the economy and ensure people get back to work. We still have 10 million fewer jobs than we did last year. So, I mean, these are all the issues. Then you have Moody's, the financial services firm, saying that Biden's infrastructure bill may slow the economy down initially. And then you have numerous other estimates that say it's going to actually decrease GDP. So why that would happen? Wharton School of Business says it's going to decrease GDP by 0.8% by 2050. So you're looking at all the top CEOs of the country saying, yeah, this is going to hurt the economy. In addition to the Wharton School of Business, Moody's, even Goldman Sachs says initially it's not going to help at all, and it'll have very little impact on GDP. So gross domestic product is a measure of the economy that most economists, most people use, a broad measure of economic growth. If it's not going to increase GDP, what's the point of the infrastructure bill? Can somebody tell me if you're going to do things to limit economic growth in the short term, and where you have basically a decrease in economic growth in the long term, what on earth is the point of this? And then you have like these social pet projects that make Democrats feel good as they gleefully tank the economy. So anyway, that's a whole other story. Democrats say, oh, we're going to help you with a social safety net. They don't tell you that they've tanked the entire economy, prevented people from working for the past year. Well, for a year, they prevented people from working. Not Trump's fault. Although initially President Trump shouldn't have succumbed to the pressure. But they gleefully tanked the entire economy. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. I'm going to get to the CNN article right now, but there's my latest stock market crash channel segment on the very interesting crypto hamster that pretty much proves that there's going to be a stock market crash. So we're going to deal with a stock market crash. You have everything from margin debt at a higher percentage of GDP than even 2008 and 2000, the greatest amount of margin debt in the history of this country. We can go on forever. Inflation is like rampant. It's not transitory. We've pumped in fiscal stimulus, including quantitative easing from the Federal Reserve of close to $10 trillion. So, I mean, we're heading towards a complete financial disaster. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. And I will have a live stream today around 6:30 p.m. So please be here for the live stream, 6:30 p.m. Tell your friends about this channel. We're growing. We're over 184,000 subs, people. The best thing you could do for me is tell, or if you enjoy my work, or for this channel, is tell everybody you know about H.A. Goodman on YouTube and the Stock Market Crash channel, which is over 17,000 subs now. This is over 184,000 subs. We're growing, and it's because of you. I want to read you this. In his written statements, Trump cited the report claiming 23,000 mail-in ballots were cast by voters from a prior address, which Cyber Ninjas said may have had a critical impact on the results. But the county quickly debunked the claim. So, simply going on Twitter and debunking a very valid and rational critique, there were other anomalies too. See, this is the thing. The entire process, President Trump had gained a political victory. In the minds of Democrats, this is yet further confirmation that they would never have cheated Bernie Sanders. So when you look at why Republicans or independents or progressives that, don't vote Democrat, don't trust the Democratic Party, is you just look at how they treated Bernie Sanders. They can't even run a functioning primary, okay? Then watch Mashed Potato Brains slur his speech and completely botch every major decision. They're pulling his microphone. They're actually preventing him from speaking when it's like an impromptu discussion or he's just answering questions. The White House staff does that all the time. So then there are questions as to, well, is he really, I think my official position, of course, is that the election in November was 100% fair and totally above board and totally fair. Biden won fair and square. Biden won fair and square. But you have these anomalies because of pandemic-related protocols. Then you have California and other Democratic states. Well, we want everyone to just vote via mail. It's like Democrats, for some reason, we don't know why, might be linked to the manner in which they treat Bernie Sanders during their own primary. So they want to turn the entire country into a Democratic primary. What they want to do, and of course there hasn't been any major revelation to alter or change results, but what they want to do is turn election night into a month, or 2 months, or 2 weeks, or a month or 2 months. Or they want to prolong it, and of course media will say, everything's fine, no problem at all. And any allegations or accusations or questions or concerns or bizarre anomalies or sloppy or just really weird things that take place, they can just sweep under the rug or not talk about or debunk on Twitter or just fact check to oblivion, which isn't really a fact check, because nowadays what they do with fact checks is just a fact. The fact check the fact checking organizations, what they've done with Trump is they've ignored the baseless claims on Trump Russia, saying, well, the intel operatives are highly confident, so therefore that's fact, because they think high confidence is an actual fact. There was no evidence. There were no facts that pointed to Trump working with Russia. It was a hunch, a confidence level, and so then they ran with investigations. Then they point to stories within books. Then they point to hearsay and gossip of anonymous government officials. So this is how they fact check things, and then they say, well, experts say. So it's always an appeal to authority, or it's just an appeal to some kind of conjecture or hyperbole or innuendo or allegation or accusation written in a book. So, but not Clinton Cash or not any book on Hunter or anything else. Just anything written about Trump. But anyway, they want election. They want generally. You would think Democrats would have enough enthusiasm and momentum to want people to vote, in person. Well, apparently they don't want that for some reason. I don't know why, because there's so much to be enthusiastic about regarding the Democratic Party. But anyway, Trump got a political victory because there were questions that haven't been answered. The county simply saying, oh, well, we debunked this. The 23,000 votes were cast from different addresses or prior addresses. That's not supposed to happen. Generally, also, with an absentee, you're supposed to explain why you need the absentee. Now, I think in California, everyone's just going to get no matter what. So, there's no way to... That used to be an issue in the early 2000s. It was Democrats, like the New York Times, papers in South Florida, the Washington Post, a whole bunch of publications said, oh, Republicans are cheating in the mail. Using people to collect. They were saying that about Republicans, because Republicans were gaming the system. But now that's a different ball game. So, give me your thoughts below. Trump got exactly what he wanted. Democrats and media and pundits are basically too stupid to realize that he got exactly what he wanted. The distrust is there not because Trump says don't trust Democrats, because there are so many bizarre anomalies that are easily debunked by the county, but still people don't believe the initial answers or debunking because it's on Twitter and it's more of like an opinion. And that's just one example. So Trump got exactly what he wanted. He knew that he wasn't going to reclaim some kind of victory, but he got a political one. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. The questions that can't be answered, which they can't really be answered, relate back to the DNC primary. So this isn't rocket science. Democrats know that they have media. Okay, and Trump isn't Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders says, "Thank you, may I have more?" Trump says, "Nah." And you might say, "Oh, he's lying." Nobody lies more than the Democratic Party and media. For 5 years, they've said Trump worked with Russia. Nothing could be further from the truth. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. The link is below in the description section. If you want to give a super thanks for this channel, for this segment, that would be greatly appreciated. Be here at 6:30 p.m. tonight, Pacific, for the live stream.